Omar Samad. He is a former Afghan diplomat and non-resident fellow at the Atlantic Council. He joins us now live from Washington. Thank you very much, Mr. Samad, for joining us here on TRT World. Now, what do you think could have prompted these talks?
Well, I think that the situation in Afghanistan has prompted these talks. The dire humanitarian conditions, as you mentioned in your report, the fact that the security situation is somewhat dicey, even though the Taliban have a hold on almost not 100% of the country, but there are still some security challenges, like the one that occurred today and caused havoc in Kunduz in northeastern Afghanistan. And there are issues about evacuation as well, because there are still a few U.S. as well as other international citizens in Afghanistan or residents, but as well as people who were supposed to go out or be taken out and haven't. And instead, others have been taken out to the U.S. and other destinations. And obviously, this is a way to re-engage with the Taliban as part of not recognition, which is down the road and probably not easily accessible, but a wide array of engagements to find out exactly whether the Taliban are going to do what they say and what they claim, as they have in the past few weeks.
Now, Mr. Samad, as you raised the issue of the recognition of the Taliban, this is certainly one of the main issues revolving around the issue of Afghanistan. Do you think these talks could possibly pave the way for the United States to recognize the Taliban?
Not that easily, not that fast. I think for the United States, it's going to be a longer road than others. But there are others. So the international community is somewhat divided, even though they're trying to stay unified on when and how and in what conditions to recognize the Taliban. They all have expressed their opinions, but you see some nuances in the region, in the neighborhood of Afghanistan. You see nuances between different countries on how to approach the Taliban and the situation in Afghanistan. Everybody is cognizant of the fact that the looming humanitarian disaster in Afghanistan has to be addressed by any cost, because there is no reason, there is no justification for ignoring that. But at the same time, the Taliban have to come and make good on some of the pledges they had made, especially about human rights, women's rights, girls' access to school, and creating probably a more representative government in Afghanistan that could be more acceptable.
Right, and Mr. Samad, the timing of these talks seem quite interesting. About a few days ago, Russia announced similar talks with the Taliban that are set to take place on the 20th of October, 20th of this month. Those talks will also include countries like Iran, India, and Pakistan. Do you think there could be a possible relationship with the U.S. announcing talks with the Taliban and Russia announcing talks with the Taliban?
There could be. Great powers have a certain way of dealing with each other, and there could be a connection. But I think that the Americans, over the past few weeks, have looked at options that are available to them. At the same time, there is a news, it hasn't been confirmed yet, that in Moscow there also could be a meeting of the Troika Plus, which could involve the United States, Russia, China, and maybe Pakistan, that will also address the Afghanistan issue. Whether they will meet the Taliban as part of the Troika or not is not known yet. But I think that the more engagement we see at this point, given the situation inside Afghanistan, the better it is to address the issues, especially knowing that Afghanistan has dried up of money. There's no more money left for people to spend, and people are getting hungry because of a famine that is looming now.
All right, Mr. Omar Samad in Washington, thank you very much for talking to us here on TRT World.